Yo, what is poppin', people of the internet? This is live from Vegas. I just want to give the world my Elden Ring review. I'm about 30-40 hours deep into the game now. I'm about on the second castle, but I've cleared a little side mission, so I think I've experienced enough to tell you the real deal. Now, you probably see the title. This is actually my first Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, whatever you want to call it, saga. I'm not the kind of gamer that you would expect to love this game. I'm someone that doesn't really play Skyrim or enjoy medieval games. But what I'm trying to say is that this game just came out of left field for me. I wasn't really expecting it, but I saw the videos and I love a challenge, and I play all my games on the hardest difficulty regardless of the game. So when I saw that this game didn't have a difficulty, I was like, okay, I think this is for me. And guys, I'm just gonna come straight out the bat and say this game is for me. You've probably seen 100 reviews at this point. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, from GameSpot, Game Informer, all the nerds are saying that it's the greatest Souls game to ever release. And I gotta say, man, in this case, just trust your boy. I would never lie to y'all. The hype is completely justified. The hype is real, man. It's justified. This game is a banger. I can't lie, it really caught me by surprise. This game is really good. Like, I'm straight up addicted to it already. In every single Twitch chat, I've been in a couple streams as well as my own stream, people just come in and the number one question is, should I buy this game if I've never played Dark Souls, or should I buy this game if I don't like this or I don't like that? A lot of people think the difficulty is what makes this game, a make or break on the buy or sell. But I'd say the difficulty isn't really a factor. This game truthfully isn't really that hard. It's the perfect level of hard. It challenges you where you can't just smack a boss on your first try, and it makes you just work smarter, not harder. With the new stealth mechanics, you really want to try to stealth as much as you can, conserve your potions and your magic bar. It's all about working smart and having a game plan to crawl through the dungeon. So I would say don't worry about the difficulty if you're thinking about that stopping you from liking the game. I would say what's going to mainly stop anyone from liking this game is the 100% just blacked out lack of progression. This game doesn't even have a tutorial. It's like that. They literally just throw you in there and they say, figure it out, bro. There's no objective arrows, there's no quest log, there's no descriptions on items. There's nothing. There is literally nothing. And I think this is the main thing that's going to turn people off. They're going to buy this game, they're going to play like the first, basically what you could call a tutorial, even though it isn't one. And then they're barely going to make it to the first boss, they're going to get dunked on, and they're going to be like, this game sucks, I don't know what to do. You kind of have to make up your own story and really have to be the player that wants to explore, that sees a castle off in the distance and they're like, you know what, screw what's going on, I'm going to that castle and I'm having my own fun with it. That's the kind of game that this is, and I think that's what every review is missing. Now for me, that's fine. Like I kind of alluded to earlier, my favorite game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played it for like 200 hours on the Nightmare mode, riding around on the boat and on the horse. I love the stealth mechanics of large fortresses, and if you get alerted, then now there's 100 dudes on you in hard mode. Basically the same thing going on here, and yes, you need to develop a story. You have to be excited to go looking place to place. If you're just looking for this game to hold your hand and say, alright, you go from this boss to this boss to this boss, it does not do that. You need to go find the boss on your own. There's going to be puzzles, traps, required items to get through doors, and it's going to take a little bit of effort. I would say give this game a chance all the way up until the second castle. By the time you get to the first castle, you should be pretty hooked. But by the time you get to the second castle, oh my god, man, you're going to be just feeling the vibes, I promise you. The second castle is totally insane. It switches it up a lot from the first one. it's just so imaginative. There's, just like you're playing Assassin's Creed, there's 100 different ways that you can enter the castle. There's not just you walk in the front gate and that's it. No, you could climb on roofs, you can go through some sneaky underground tunnel, you can do like all kinds of wild things, and it's really just up to you to make your own story. This is truly one of those games where you'll never see the same person do the same thing twice. The weapons that I have in my game, and the armor that I wear, none of you guys will have. Unless you will at some point in the game, but your sequencing will be nowhere near mine. Because I have kind of just been wandering around, kind of power leveling myself for these bosses. Because let me tell you, that second castle boss makes the first one look like a chump. And the first one has got a lot of people stumped. But that second one, sheesh! I was streaming last night for about a couple hours, and well, after I tried her like 4 or 5 times, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna level up a little bit before I go back to her. So let's talk about some of the things that truly make this game a 10 out of 10 and why you're hearing these crazy reviews. The first thing for me is the uniqueness of the enemies and the uniqueness of the weapons. So you may be wondering, you know, does the combat get boring? It's literally just a hack and slash. Just slash, 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 block, 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 roll, roll, roll. Might seem a little bit repetitive, but I kinda disagree on that because there's so many varieties of enemies and there's so many varieties of weapons, spells, and shields that it honestly keeps it pretty fresh. Like, you might be getting an army of like 55 small dudes that are like sucking your magic bar away, or you might fight like 2 gigantic dudes with the biggest ranged poles you've ever seen in your life. You might see someone on horseback, there might be flying enemies. I mean, they really switch it up and keep it fresh. The combat does not feel repetitive. And all the weapons, each weapon, basically maybe like, I don't know, Borderlands, each legendary weapon has its own unique talent. And to me, collecting all these different weapons and finding what their unique talents in has been really fun. I'll find a katana that has like some black hole gravity effect and is freaking awesome, but then you like find a war club that bashes people's brains in and has a rage bar. I mean, you're just constantly finding new and exciting items, and it just keeps the game fresh. And then the second biggest thing of why this game's a 10 out of 10 is just the open world is absolutely stunning. As someone that loves open world games, this is easily in my top 3 now. Like, the world is just insane. It's huge. It's got tons of verticality and caves, and every area looks different. You might be in a raining, dark graveyard 1 second, and then you walk outside the castle and now you're in a flaming volcano, and then you leave the flaming volcano and you're in a beautiful, serene, just golden trees, like a temple of Eden. And then you jump on a lift that takes you 40,000 meters underground. I mean, this game just continues to impress me. It honestly has just caught me so off guard. I didn't really expect it that I would call this game a 10 out of 10. That's why I had to make this review, because it really is, man, and I think it's something that people should try. I know it's not for everyone, and that's the point of this video, but just give it a whirl, man. Give it a whirl. A lot of people that come from my channel know that I play Battle Royale, like Apex, Super People. You know, I like to play multiplayer games because I like the rush of taking on another player. Generally, I would say that single-player games, like let's say something like Far Cry, while I really enjoy the open world and the story, the AI is just so stupid and so easy that it just doesn't hold my interest at all. But the AI in this game is arguably smarter than a person, so it really gives me the same rush as playing a PvP game or taking a win in Battle Royale. You get the same rush from beating a boss after trying 10 tries, or running into a giant freaking dragon and you're like, oh my god, what do I do now? I don't want to lose everything. Because you do lose stuff when you die, but it's just your levels. It's just great, man. I'm telling you, the rush matches it. The enemies are legit as strong as players, and that to me just has kept me entertained for probably to be hundreds of hours in this game. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. I want to hear People are gonna come in, they're still gonna have questions. This game has so many people asking questions, and we just need to answer them all in the comments below. I think another thing that's really cool before I end the video is, at the beginning you can choose a class, but in all honesty, the class doesn't really matter. Which at first that sounds kind of bad, but I actually think that is a really good feature, because you can kind of have the freedom to pick your own playstyle, and it doesn't really hinder you in any way. Like, so you don't have to restart your game and make a new character. For example, my dude, I started out as a warrior with a shield and a polearm, but I kind of decided that I wanted some magic so that I could get some of these harder enemies at range. So then I went and invested like a couple hours in leveling up my dude so that I could get a wand and so that I could use some magic, and now I'm the best of both worlds. And that's a really good feeling, that you can kind of have a build that spreads out in all directions. You're not just locked into being the warrior because you chose the warrior. And obviously the graphics, the visuals, everything's just like a 10 out of 10. I don't gotta tell you guys that, you can see it on screen. But that's really all I gotta say, man. Leave a thumbs up on the video. If you purchased this game, come back, let me know if my video led to you discovering this great game. This has been Live from Vegas. I'll see you guys online. Peace.